Hi, thanks for purchasing the Mood Landscape Needle Felting Kit and supporting the Joyful Art Project. My name is Rachel. We're first going to go over a list of supplies, so you might want to pause your video real quick to make sure you have everything. Included, you'll have a canvas, embroidery hoop, 3 bags of wool, felting needles, a needle holder, finger protectors, a foam felting surface, a sewing needle, and embroidery floss. Not included, you'll need a pair of scissors, a pen, and some hairspray, which is optional. Okay, so now that we've gone through the list of supplies and materials, it is time to get started. A quick note before we do get started, I will be using a couple different tools just for ease of doing this tutorial. My foam pad's going to look different, and my needle tool just has multiple needles in one. Again, helps me get through this tutorial a little bit quicker. So, to start, you're first going to just trace the outline of your hoop onto your canvas, so you know what size that you are working with. So here we have all of your different colors in your ground bag. I'm gonna first pull out, so you have like 2 accent colors, just this tan and this mustardy yellow brown. I'm gonna pull those out, and I'm gonna pull out a little bit of both the sandy brown and the green, just as reserve. And again, it just depends on how much of the ground you want to show brown versus green as to how you'll lay it out once you get them mixed together. But we could start mixing just by pulling them apart continually. Okay, once you have everything kind of mixed together, we'll again move these over to the side. And in layers, you're going to start putting the wool down on your canvas on the ground how you might like it to look. And again, just in thin layers. You'll take your stabbing tool. You will have a single needle and begin stabbing in the material. Pull some of my accent colors. Just gonna kind of lay some down. Just this is where you want to experiment, play with it. However you might want to add in some colors. You can also, once you add them in, if you feel like, oh, this is too much of this, take some of your other colors that you've kept either as reserve or even mixed, and put layers on top of it just to mute it a little. You can still show it through, but it'll still show through, but you can mute the color. Don't worry about the horizon line. We're going to clean that up later after we do this guy. So it can be uneven, messy, however. Just as a note, I go up and down when I usually when I start, but when I'm working on details, sometimes I'll come in at an angle. Again, it's even easier with the single needle tool. Just be sure that when you come out, you go out at the same angle that you went in. Otherwise, you are liable to snap your needle. I provided extras, so don't worry if you do. Okay, now that we have our ground how we want it, we're going to move on to our sky. So I'm going to take the rest of our colors here that we used for the ground, set them aside in case I want to make changes. Okay, so now we're going to work on our sky. in the bag of colors for your sky, you will have a dark gray blue, a blue-gray color, a light blue, and a white. So we're gonna start just by doing similar to that we did for the ground. Take your 2 accent colors, set them aside, and then I like to reserve some of the 2 main colors as well. Once I pull those out, I am going to start mixing the colors like we did before. So how to lay the colors down is entirely up to you. If you want to work on a gradient, if you want to start darker and get lighter, you can do that by, even though your colors are mixed, by, kind of pulling them apart and looking at how you want to lay them down. Again, entirely up to you. So I'm just going to start here. And again, start laying it down on the fabric. So I have a thin layer, how I want it to look, and then I'll start stabbing it. As another hint, sometimes I like to gently needle drag across the fibers. Sometimes it works better than others, but it can line them up for you a little bit if you're looking to keep it a little bit straighter. Now we have the entirety of the canvas kind of covered with the base layer. Now you can make some more enhancements to the sky. So again, I've provided this light blue color as well as a white color. And you'll see I'm just going to play around with both my remaining colors that I have left from the base as well as the white and the light blue, just to continue to give some dimension to the sky, some clouds, some more streaks and color. And we'll see how it is. Okay, so once you have your sky the way you'd like it to look, we're going to add in our horizon line and then our moon, which is optional. If you don't want to add that, that is also fine. So in your kit, you will have a very small piece of navy blue. You're gonna run this along your horizon line and stab it in with your needle tool. Sometimes I like to even twist it and pull it slightly. And again, use your finger protectors. And I'll also often come in at an angle for this. Just kind of keep pulling it as I go along. You may notice there are pieces of my canvas that might even show through some. You can go back and plug those in, trying to be careful of the horizon line, but I also do not mind. Okay, so also in the bag that you had your horizon line, you have this very, very pale yellow color that we're going to use to make the moon. And this could be a little trial and error, so just be patient with it. You can decide on where you'd like your moon. I think I'm going to put mine right about... actually, I'm going to put it right about here. I'm going to first stab in one end. I'm going to use a thin piece, maybe even thinner than this. About that. And again, you can make it as big or as small as you want the moon. It's going to naturally kind of come around in a circle. Let's put my needle tool here. Kind of wrap it around. Start stabbing it in. And then to neaten up the circle, kind of come in at an angle around it. Make sure it's all attached to the fabric. Finger protectors. And there you have your finished piece. Now you'll just need to peel it off the canvas. It is a good idea to peel it occasionally as you go along so it doesn't get too stuck, but you saw we were able to do that. I usually give it another once over because the fibers may have gotten loose from peeling it off. And optional, I hairspray this to give it fibers an extra hold, and then we will put it in our frame and sew off the back. Okay, so now that we have our finished piece, our frame, our needle and thread, let's go ahead and complete this. So you want to line up the backing behind your canvas. It's about where you want it. Put the frame on and tighten it. So I like to cut the corners off of this before I sew it. So now I'm just going to take my needle and create a running stitch around the entire outside of the piece. So you'll take the end of this, pull it, tie a knot, and there you have your finished piece. Thank you for needle felting with me. I hope you've enjoyed this.